Hi, everyone. Welcome to the LaunchPreneur experience. This is Fernanda Furman, your host for the event. And today we're going to talk with Breyana Wright. And one of the things that a lot of people ask about is what to wear when we are doing our interviews, when we're showing up for live events. What should I wear? Is that, should I wear something casual, something more elegant? And today, Breyana is here to answer all those questions. So welcome, Breyana.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And can you share with the audience a little bit about your background and who you serve, and just share a little bit about you?
Yes, so I'm Breyana Wright, and I'm a fashion stylist. I've been doing this for a little bit over 5 years. And I work with entrepreneurs and career professionals to help them to not only build a look that's personable and comfortable for them, but to build a look that's also eye-catching and alluring for their audience as well. And the idea behind this is so they can increase sales. It's easier to do brand awareness campaigns. And they also, come across as professional and someone you should work with when they're talking to prospects or, current clients.
Absolutely. And the title of her interview is How to Dress for Virtual Events. And we're going to talk about how to feel confident with the clothes that you pick, how to identify the best way to dress for your virtual event, and how to capture the audience attention at a virtual event. One of the things that I hear a lot is that I was supporting a client and she was trying to wear clothes that did not fit her own style. So as she was doing her lives, you could tell that she was uncomfortable, that she was not feeling like herself, right? So because she was not feeling like herself, you could tell that the way she was coming across was not strong and powerful. Can you please share with us, Breyana, how do you think the way that you dress in your events can make you feel confident?
So it's extremely important, like you said, to dress in a way that makes you feel comfortable. Many people think that they have to put on a suit and tie or something that's completely not within their scope of style, and that's furthest from the truth. You should actually put on things that make you feel comfortable and that are closely aligned with your industry. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to look like someone who's probably doesn't have children and things like that. So for a mom, it will be suitable for her to wear comfortable clothing. She probably doesn't need to wear super high heels and things like that. Just things that she would wear on a day-to-day basis in a sense, but a little bit more polished. Not only will this help her feel comfortable, but her audience is most likely moms too. So they'll be able to relate better to her.
I totally agree. And I also think there is the sense that you need to understand who your audience is. So like you're saying, if you are working with moms that barely have any time to take care of themselves, and then you dress, and you have all the makeup, if that's you, would just suggest, like, for example, okay, that's me. I wear high heels. I love jewelry. I love like all the blings and all that kind of stuff. I'm not heavy on makeup. So for me, if I had to wear sandals, even if nobody's seeing it, I don't feel like myself. And even if that would be part of my brand, if I was speaking to other moms, I still wear high heels. I still carry with me everywhere I go. If I feel like I always have an extra pair of shoes, but I love what you said about feeling comfortable, but also speaking to your audience.
Yes. Yes, that's very important. And honestly, it's so commendable that you're a mom that wears high heels. Like, that is so awesome to me. I definitely commend that. And it definitely is about knowing your audience, because you don't show up the same way you do as, for example, a mompreneur and somebody who's in the banking industry. Those are two completely different outfits, from color palette to style of clothes. So that's definitely important.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes the industry kind of has that push towards either you just look sloppy, like, you know what, don't take care of yourself, just show up on camera, put a bun, and that's it. And that might be your audience. But I also have seen a push, like I was pushed by one coach that I needed to dress a certain way, to have my suit and to have something, a brand that would speak to 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs. And then when I went to go take my pictures, because I had two different business, okay, two different ones. So one is totally healthy home, another one, the launch manager. And who do I show up as, right? My brand photographer said, oh, you need to wear like jeans, ripped jeans and white shirts, sit on the counter, drink some green juice with no shoes. The other coach said, hey, you got to wear like more like, you know, dressy clothes and like dresses that are like this and have some makeup on. But I am the same person. And if I do either or, I would not be speaking to my audience that will relate to you, right? When you are yourself and authentic, then the audience that you want to work with actually relates to you. And how do you, that's the question that I have. It's like, how do you define at what point, you know, it's dressing up is too much?
That's a great question. I would say it depends on the event. So knowing your event is extremely important. So if it's like a formal, like full-on speaking event and the attire is supposed to be a certain way, high end, then you need to come in with that. And if it's like a more casual setting and you have casual activities and things like that going on, adapt to that. Not only will it not, you know, make you stick out like a sore thumb, but you'll also feel more comfortable and everybody can relate to everybody, if that makes sense.
And do you think like when you're doing lives, shiny clothes, or what is a no to when you're doing live, like on camera, not a live event itself, but on camera? What it's like one thing that you would say it's a no?
I would say a no, like, is wearing pajama bottoms. I know that that's been a normalized trend lately, especially as we've moved to the more virtual space. But what that does is it makes you relaxed and it doesn't make you confident like you should be. So in other words, you want to portray as much confidence as you can, because how can I do that if I'm wearing a blazer on the top and then I have my comfy pajama bottoms and slippers on the bottom? You're not getting the best of me. But if I have my nice blazer at the top and maybe some comfortable knit pants that are professional and still go with the rest of my outfit, I'm feeling empowered and I'm ready to serve my audience. So I would say that's the big no there.
Yes, I totally agree. And there is sometimes that actually happened to me where you forget and then you have to get up, and I was wearing spandex. One of the purple spandex, and I had like this nice suit on the top, necklace, and it was all like super awesome. I got up to go, out of the blue, my manager said, hey, I sent you a book. And I said, no, that's not the book I got. Let me show you what it is. And then I went to go get it, and I walked away from the camera and I'm like, shoot. And it was awful. I just came back and I, just had to live with it. And I started laughing because the spandex was a little bit transparent. And so it was kind of embarrassing situation. After that day, as you said, not only to be comfortable, you never know when you're going to forget and get up.
Yes, that too. That is so important. Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of like, there is this thing where people right now, it's very affordable to do brand photography. And, anyone can just go and take some photography, professional photography. What would be like the key pieces that we should have in our closet in order to take nice pictures that you believe that are key for any type of style?
A blazer, Pont pants, that is my favorite recommendation. And what they are, they have the feel of leggings, but they also look professional as well. So you're getting that comfort polished look. So that works for whatever industry that you're in. And I would say, depending on who you are, it could be a flat or a pair of heels. And then for men, of course, a loafer would always be nice. I would recommend that. Or if you want to go a bit more dressier, dress shoes. And you can never go wrong with a blouse. Those would be my recommendations. And button up shirt for the men.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then in terms of makeup, what do you think that, when you're wearing something super nice, do you think makeup kind of clashes with the clothes when you're doing your, because a lot of us, what we're doing is we're doing live events on camera, right? Mm-hmm. So virtual events. So what do you think about makeup?
I'm an advocate for it. I feel like if you love makeup and you're pretty decent at it, I would say it really pulls the look together. If you're not really good at makeup and you feel like you don't need makeup, then there's no pressure to put any on. And you could always do light alternatives like, eyeliner and maybe a light lip gloss or a light lipstick or something like that. But I think it's a very great addition to an outfit and it really makes it stand out.
And do you think that for somebody that is showing up in a certain way, so let's say, for example, anytime you see me, you're going to see me like with a bling, with a big earring or a big necklace or blings on my shirt. Do you feel like that creates that, that brand? And then if you start doing videos in a more relaxed way, let's say a t-shirt, it kind of damages your image? Or do you think that it has to be consistent the whole time?
I think that t-shirts are especially if they showcase your brand, I feel like they could be a great addition to your wardrobe, especially if you dress it up with like a nice cardigan or a nice pair of pants or a blazer or something like that. As far as jewelry, that's always a plus. Like I love my pearl earrings and things like that. They definitely express personality and they can really elevate an outfit a lot. So I recommend both of them. I feel like t-shirts give they get like negative feedback, but in honesty, I feel like they're really good, especially now since everything is changing. Like people are adapting to a more business casual style that's more on the casual side. So I feel like they fit perfectly into that.
What about very extravagant clothes? There is a coach that I love her, Ali Bloyd. It's a very, I love her. And she's one of my coaches. And so she showed up in an event and she had a very extravagant dress. And there was a lot of criticism. But on the other hand, everybody stopped the scroll and they were making comments because you couldn't just go, buy that video and not stop, right. Especially because she has red hair. How do you feel? Like, I think she has a very strong personality of somebody that can handle it, but somebody else not be able to handle, the heat that comes from the comments. So what is your view about wearing something extravagant?
I'm all for it. I'm an extravagant person. Like my shirt is like extra right now. I have like super big ruffles and it's me. If you follow my brand or if you know me personally, you know that that's me. And I feel like I don't know her personally and I don't follow her, but just by listening, I can tell that that's her. And if you know her, then you're like, that suits her. Like that is her brand right there. And there's always going to be feedback and it's always going to be too much or maybe too little for someone. But as long as, you're happy with it and it aligns with your brand and most importantly, the event, I say go for it.
Yeah. And do you feel like for me, I feel like when you're talking to a different audience. So for example, if I have, clients and we're trying to get a new clients that are seven figures, for example, and I know they have a certain way to luxury items. Do you feel that's necessary that I dress at that level to
Yes.
connect with them?
Yes.
Okay.
People connect better and resonate better with people that look like them, because they feel like, even if it's not true, they feel like that person can connect with them. So using your example with the seven-figure clients, if I go in there and I'm in one of the higher end brands, which is most likely what they wear, they're already like, oh wow, so she knows a bit about, what I'm looking for. And not only that, it's a talking point. And that's what I tell people. Like, you don't go in there and just go for the sale. You literally start talking and getting to know your client and coddling them and relationship building with them. So if you can just talk about like, oh wow, like I like that high-end brand too. Like I have those pair of shoes in my closet. Like, did you see the sale that they had going on? I did, like this. And they start to build that relationship with you and have this positive image of you, then it's easier to sell and kind of onboard them through the funneling process.
Yeah, one thing that my point on that, I believe also that there's a connection, but also to be authentic, right? To be true to yourself. I do have a friend who she will spend all of her money just to take Instagram pictures.
Oh, wow.
Like she would buy stuff, she would go places just so she can take Instagram pictures to build her brand. And on the back behind the scenes, she's absolutely broke. But when you look at her, you think she has all this money that she's traveling. So, which I think it's unnecessary, right? And it builds a fake brand because at one point people know who you are. Like I know who she is, and I know that's not true. So do you think that it's important that you kind of enjoy where you are right now? So with your clothes, with your jewelry, and don't try to just impress, just to become somebody? Or do you think that's important for you to, okay, I want to be that seven-figure, person. So I'm going to start right now dressing like a seven-figure woman? Or do you think that's more important to kind of embrace where you are and build that brand as you grow into it?
I think that it's important for both. I think that people should set a goal. Like, for example, if they know they want to be a seven-figure earner at one point in the near future, then I feel like they should take the steps to do that. Where image in clothing is concerned, it doesn't have to be a big leap. It could literally be, you don't have to go full on the shopping the $1,000 brands and getting you Gucci or anything like that. But you can get high quality brands at a price point that's right for you. And on top of that, there might be some high quality things in your closet that you have already that you can style better and have that, seven-figure look that you're wanting to achieve. So I definitely think that both is important because you never want to, be someone that you're not. And you also don't want to, stay in a place where you're like super comfortable and then have to kind of rush and get together and build that look that you want when you're close to the stage that you want to be at.
Yes. I live in San Diego. There is a secondhand store here that has brands like they have clothes with tags from brands that you would not believe that you would find in there. I found the Chanel glasses in there, which is still like the price tag was still like $200 and something, but it was half of the price that would be the original one. So there, you can still find amazing deals if you are in a budget. Like you're saying, you get the key pieces, the pieces. At the end of the day, guys. So you find your key pieces and then you can accessorize. Oh my gosh. See, I'm going to let you
Well,
say that word before I say something. Use your accessories. And, still find places where they have secondhand, even that they have amazing clothes, even like sales, like Macy's have sales, I think twice a year, where they have amazing prices that they go down even 75%. So there is a way to dress and buy, and I think it's important. Where where do you come in place? Like, when would somebody hire you? Is that when they're starting, or when they already have a brand in mind, or when would somebody hire you? At what point in their business?
When they know what their brand is going to be. They don't have to be like 100% like I have everything, because as an entrepreneur, we definitely like change. Sometimes we pivot often. So of course I don't expect them to have everything, but at least to say like, hey, this is my business. This is what I have planned. This is my industry, just the basics. And then we can get somewhere, because as I said earlier, it's all about marketing to your target audience and kind of marrying that with the things that you like, and then taking what's in your closet and seeing like, hey, this is what we can do with this. And then if you're not there, it's like, okay, we can hit these places up and shop there and get you to where you need to be.
So as a wardrobe stylist, what do you do? Like, do you buy the clothes for the clients, or do you see their style, you choose the clothes and they buy it, or they will buy it, or do you create like a Pinterest where you put the style in there and then they can find? How does that relationship work?
So for me, everything is online based. So I like to try to save my clients money as much as possible. So what I'll do is I'll take and examine their closet, see what they have there, and I'll kind of let them know like, this will work for the brand that you want to build, or this is no longer going to work for the brand that you want to build. And we kind of just go through the pieces and marry that style with that target audience. If they want me to do the shopping for them, I'm definitely happy to do that. If they prefer to do it on their own or in store, I can definitely give them a list of stores to try and different brands that might be suitable for their price point and taste.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Especially like I see that sometimes we buy clothes and then we end up using the same ones that we have, and the new ones stay there, or we use, but I love this clothes, this blouse, but not this time. I love this blouse, but not this time.
Yes.
So I think to have somebody to go through your closet and look what you have, and I think it also has to do with your brand and how you're saying how you feel comfortable, but also with the background that you have in your office, right? Like for me, this is the background I have right now, and I have another one that it's dark gray. And do you think that your clothes should kind of go contrast with your background, or it doesn't matter what you're wearing in relationship to the background that you have?
It would be nice to have clothing that does match the background for aesthetic purposes. It definitely draws the eye in, especially if you're like doing a virtual event or a consultation. But I don't think that it's necessary to match your background, because if you're put together well and if your image looks amazing, then the background is just a bonus. So that's what I think about that.
Yeah, that question came because one of my clients, she painted her background blue, and then she came back with all those clothes, and she had me looking because she was going to have her launch. And so she was trying the clothes against the wall to see which one would look better with the wall. And we're going through, and it kind of, like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. but she had like this blue background, and her shirt, the color that she loves blue. So everything she had was blue. So she was very like against the wall.
Yeah,
So
she was
there's
blending
nothing
in.
behind her.
Uh-huh.
And she was super white, and she had this kind of a dark turquoise. So it looked like her and the wall were the same, and just the head was moving.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Her lighting was not helping. It was just like in her face. So everything else was dark. And I never thought that clothing, because it was almost the same color as the wall, it almost looked like, she was in the wall.
Like a
So
green.
yeah, that's why I'm asking. And I feel like if you have a distance in between you and your wall, and it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter how much, the colors match, especially if you have lighting behind you, that it's going to accentuate your shoulders from behind. Then it doesn't matter what you're wearing, right?
Right. You definitely don't want to blend in with your wall or clash with anything that's going on.
No. Well, Breyana, is there anything else you think that we should know about dressing for our events?
I would just say just having the right colors that go with your skin tone is super important. That definitely plays a part, because if you're wearing something that doesn't go with your skin tone, it's just like, I'm focusing on that and I'm missing the message. And the same thing with if something is poorly styled, because it can be, even though it's virtually, I'm looking at that and I'm not really hearing what you have to offer me. So you might miss out on, onboarding me as a client because I'm not paying attention. And that's what it is.
Or if you're wearing a cleavage, that it's too revealing, right?
Yes.
That people cannot take their eyes. And even if they're not, it's not that they are interested, it's just that it's uncomfortable sometimes,
Right.
or you just keep looking at the cleavage.
Right.
And if you're wearing something that is like this, almost the same color of your skin, right? Especially if you have a cleavage and something that looks like skin color, or even one of those lace clothes that are black and then the back are like skin color. I feel like those also are kind of too much for an event, like, in video, because live, it's different. There's a lot more things that happen when you're live with the person, when you're in person in an event. But on the video, I feel like those are distractions that especially if you are, if you have men in the audience,
right.
I just feel like it's just distracted, even though we know you're not naked, right? We know you're not, and you're not going to take your clothes off, but it's that distraction, like your eyes are always there.
I definitely agree. I really do.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes those are things that we don't even think much about it. We just think about, oh my gosh, I love this shirt, let me just move it. And and that's later on is when we go like, oh my gosh, why did I wear that?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. So just to be mindful of those things, and they'll definitely help you have a better, virtual event experience, or if you're just doing a consultation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Breyana, thank you so much. I appreciate your support and sharing your knowledge with the audience. And if you are joining us with the VIP experience, Breyana gifted the audience with how to build a professional wardrobe from scratch. It's a paid course that she has it's including with the VIP experience. So make sure to join us so you can get the bonus as well. And the action step. Okay, so Breyana, would you please share with the audience, what would you like them to do in a Facebook group? What is the action step for them to do so they can get feedback from you?
Yes. So if you're in this Facebook group, which obviously you are, then I definitely want you to let me know what you're having trouble with right now. That could be, you're having trouble finding the right colors, or you're not sure what your style is, etc., so forth, let me know, and I will do my best to help you figure out where to go with that.
Well, thank you so much, Breyana. I appreciate so much you sharing your knowledge with us.
I appreciate you having me. This is such an awesome event.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.